All right, we're good. Oh, boy. All right. We're on.
Okay.
Okay, I will call this meeting of the Sherritt County Planning and Zoning Committee to order. This meeting will begin with a public hearing. Anyone other than the applicant or other representative wishing to speak must register and submit the registration slip to the zoning administrator at this time. Following the hearing, we will conduct our monthly business meeting, at which time we will vote on the application. You may stay and hear how the application are decided, or you may leave following the hearing. The applicant and town board will be sent a copy of tonight's decisions or decision. Any other person wishing to receive a copy of a decision can sign the sheet on the table at the front of the room. Those of you wishing immediate knowledge of the outcome of these proceedings may call the county zoning office tomorrow morning. The procedure we will follow for the hearing after each application is read, the applicant, their agent, or representative will be asked to present their application, followed by any questions or comments from the committee. Then all correspondence will be read. Then others in favor will have a chance to speak. Anyone objecting will then have a chance to speak. I will then ask for a summary of the committee field's observation and any staff comments. Finally, the applicant will be allowed a chance for a short rebuttal if they wish. Anyone wishing to speak should use the microphone, state their name, and direct their comments to the committee. Because of, I'm not going to say that. I ask that all testimony be kept brief and to the point. The applicant will have 5 minutes to present the information on their application, other than questions from the committee. Anyone else wishing to speak should limit their testimony to 3 minutes, and any rebuttal by the applicant will also be limited to 3 minutes. If you are testifying as a nearby landowner, please tell us where your property is located relative to the subject property. Tonight's hearing will be recorded, and the recording will become part of the record. Comments that are based on hearsay or secondhand information, as well as slanderous or prejudicial remarks, will be ruled out of order. The committee has looked at the property, and the record will reflect these observations. Any person affected by the administrative decision of this committee has 10 days from the filing of tonight's decision to make an appeal. Such appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustments. Information and applications are available from the zoning office. The county assumes no liability and makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of this 10-day period. I will now introduce the committee. Todd Waller, zoning administrator. Becky Ubach is acting as our secretary. David Bossar at the very end. John, I can't pronounce your last name. John Van. And Bart Peterson, and my name is Patrick King. I'm acting committee chair.
There you go. I'll take that. Okay, so now you just have to read the conditional. We have one item, conditional use.
Conditional use tabled from the June 15, 2023 public hearing. Levi and Carla Miller, Coloma, Wisconsin, has made an application for a conditional use in accordance with section 58-454-30 of the Sherritt County Zoning Code to conditionally establish a custom varnishing and painting business in a new 40 by 48 building. Location, a 7-acre parcel of land known as Lot 1, CSM 5236, Section 19, T18N, RO9E, Town of Richford, W11971, Cumberland Road. Any or all of the above items will be reviewed prior to the public hearing by the Sherrill County Planning and Zoning Committee. Such,
Yeah, you
Okay.
could just ask him now to come up.
okay.
Yep.
Would you like to come up and state your name and what you're planning to do?
I'm Levi Miller from W11971 Cumberland Road, Loma, Wisconsin. I want to put up a building for varnishing and staining and painting. A small business that I and my son can do. I'm getting older and I'd like to have something, a small business that I can do at home. So I don't have to be out in the wintertime where it's so cold, which I don't go out that often in the wintertime when it's so cold anyway, but anymore. But that's why I want a business, small business at home, so I don't have to be out in the cold winter days in the wintertime. And I just wanted small business so I don't have to have any big trucks and stuff coming in like that. So it'd be planning on working 8-hour days, 6 days a week, or five days a week from Monday through Friday. And if I do work Saturdays, it would be like in the forenoon, like 4 hours. So
Okay, just a few questions, I guess, and then the committee may have some questions. Or, go ahead.
I guess I just have a question for you. Just in terms of how many people do you anticipate daily coming to your property, and do they bring materials with them, or do you
No.
have the materials that you varnish and paint?
what I would do is go over, there's a big sawmill over on Double J in Marquette County. And he makes flooring and siding and trim work for inside houses. So what I would do is go over, he's got a trailer. I would have to have a driver with a pickup truck. Go over and hook onto his trailer and load up the materials, bring it over to my shop and unload it there. Then once I have that order done, I would load it back up to the trailer and take it back and bring more over. So I'm not planning on having any, like individual coming into my shop like that.
Ask, you're gonna build a new building,
Yes,
and so do you know where your lot lines are?
yes, yeah.
And you have a recent survey? So you know,
I have not have it recent, but the markers on the north, south, and north are still in there. So that I do know, and so on the east side that I don't. I mean, I roughly know, but I'm not getting close to there. So
you're not, okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions?
Matter of fact, I do. So this wood that's coming to you, milled wood, right?
Yeah.
Kiln dried?
yes,
Is it mostly flooring?
it's more like trim. Like
Casing?
well, casing in like 1x8s. Some are gonna be tongue and groove. I don't know exactly what all, but I was told all kinds of trim work.
And so I used to work in a cabinet business years ago when I was a young man. And I ran a spray booth doing very similar work. At that time, 30 years ago, almost everything in the business was beginning to change to a water-based sealer.
Oh.
And varnish, which is an petroleum base, was virtually unheard of. Do you see yourself using a water base or an oil base?
I That I'm not 100% sure. I thought the guys at Water Base, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
They're two totally different animals,
Yeah.
both
yeah,
for safety and
right.
health.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have a lot of experience in this quite yet.
Not a lot. I did 3 years ago. We were in Pennsylvania for a couple months, and there I sprayed for 2 months straight. Just
So you got it down.
you know, and we had fans hooked up, and we had respirators on, the ones that you got a pack on the back with a battery on it, and it blows the air, and you got a helmet on. There is no smell of whatsoever coming into you.
That's very good. That'll let you live a longer life.
Well, that's what I was hoping. Because if you do it even by hand, that just a little trim work by hand, that's such a smell that I mean it's hard for me to tolerate it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
And given the nature of the business too, and I know that Mr. Miller has been working with an architect towards, getting his commercial building plans. Obviously, with any commercial building plans, you have to state and indicate your type of business, and obviously with varnishing, ventilation obviously is a key. So he will have to have separate ventilation booths, exhaust fans, and, everything that meets the state's criteria. So that's one thing. We've kind of entered into preliminary discussions. We talked about it earlier. So his plans will have to go under state review as well as our review.
I'll bet the state will only let them use water
Yeah.
based
Yeah.
as of now. So, which is a healthy thing. So.
Because it was disposal,
Yeah,
disposal of the waste and
Yep.
so.
Okay, any other questions? You can sit down, I guess.
Do you want me to go through correspondence? Okay.
Correspondence, yeah.
Just wanted to point out, zoning office did receive a letter, an email on Monday, May 1st from Julia Staller, the clerk for the town of Richmond. And I'm going to read it verbatim. It's nice, gentlemen. Levi Miller submitted a plan for a 40 by 48 building with an 8-foot roof overhang for buggy and hay wagon storage, 10-foot high side walls, a 10 by 10 exterior heating room, and a 10 by 10 exterior air compressor room. The building is for the varnishing and painting of trim boards and doors. Building will have in-floor heat. The property location is W11971 Cumberland Road. The business would be run by Mr. Miller and his son Lucas. They would unload trim and doors brought by customers, complete with finishing process, and then load them back up for customer pickup. Bob noted zoning would work with him on the DNR permitting due to the nature of the business. There may also be coding issues for visitors and customers. Julia expressed concern over adequate air circulation within the building for the safety of Levi and his son. Levi responded, ventilation safety will be addressed. He is currently seeking an architect to assist with plans. Bob also suggested he speak to neighbors, and because this would be considered a home-based business, it would fall within the parameters of our land use plan. Members of the board were satisfied with Mr. Miller's preliminary plan, and we'll have Julia send a notice to zoning. That's all I have. I have nobody registered to speak in favor or objecting or even informational.
So is there anything else you'd like to tell us, or is that complete?
I can't think of anything.
Do you want me to just give you a summary real quick?
Sure.
So everyone should have a copy of the final report before you. This is the same report that was presented at the last meeting, or that was at least in your packets. There were sets of drawings as well in there. Just real quickly, summary of the request: the applicants Levi and Clara Miller, owners and occupants of the property, are requesting a conditional use to conditionally establish a varnishing and painting business in a proposed 40 by 48 building in an AG3 general agricultural 3-acre minimum zone in the town of Richmond. As illustrated on the drawings and that you had before you, the applicant seeks to construct an additional pole building for the exclusive use of a varnishing and painting business. Plans call for a new 40 by 48 structure, 8-foot overhang for buggy and hay storage, to be located primarily north and west of the existing residence, and there was a small little accessory building there as well, and immediately adjacent to that westerly drive. Building obviously would be used exclusively for the finishing of trim boards and doors. Based upon earlier conversations with the county, the applicant has hired an architect to produce state commercial building plans, given the nature of the business. The committee visited the property at their onsite on Wednesday, June 14th, 2023, and were generally supportive of their request. Committee felt that this request was very similar in nature to similar requests and approvals in and around the area. They also did not believe that the low intensive commercial use would negatively impact the surrounding land uses, which were predominantly residential. Staff has reviewed this request and also believes that the home-based business at this location is consistent with similar requests and similar developments in and around the area and items that we have recently reviewed and approved. And it should in no way alter the agricultural or residential use of the property. These types of small businesses have proven to offer a welcome service to the county and the community. While the committee will be making a recommendation on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval subject to the conditions listed in your report.
Okay. So there are no more applications, so,
That's it. So we can close the public
yeah,
hearings?
we'll close the public hearing and you can stay if you wish or. Okay. Okay. Roll call.
Yep. You want to do the roll call?
Or,
Or we can just, for the record, everyone's here except
Everyone's
for
here.
Robert was
Okay.
excused.
all right. Then I need a motion for approval of agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Hi,
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of minutes of the prior meeting of yesterday.
just have two questions on the minutes. On the second page, should that say no action item conditions were met?
Actually, and that the no action items, that was the one that was by June 1st, actually, and that, oh, and I apologize, that action item, we should complete it. Actually, there were several action items. What we could do is identify the action items that were completed.
I'm just saying that it says no action items were not met.
Yep, and you're right, because technically the berm and the landscape, well, and let me apologize. And that
It's a
actually,
double
the action items weren't completed by June 1st.
Right.
If you recall, they were
Yep.
completed by July 1st.
So that's what I'm asking. Should it say no action items were met by then
Oh, you're right.
instead of the
We're-
double
we're
negative?
met. You're correct. It's taking, double negative makes it a positive,
Yeah.
and two rights.
And we
make an
want to
airplane.
make,
I'm sorry.
this actually should be right.
No, you're right. We'll take that out.
And then the motion made by Bart, did the motion actually fail? It was rescinded, so.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
correct. Motion was rescinded. Or, I mean,
Was it?
I have that in the.
Didn't we vote?
Discussion happened.
We voted though.
but no, I think Bart, I think
Motion
you're
was
right.
not rescinded.
Right. It was,
So I made a motion to revoke. John seconded it.
You're
And
right.
I tried to pull my motion back. John would not second it. So
So right,
then we went
okay.
to a vote.
Yes, so it did technically fail.
So then it did fail, and then
Vote
two
failed.
lines
Yeah.
down where the motion to rescind his original motion
Right.
wasn't.
Okay.
That's the one that then should be.
Okay,
struck.
we'll strike that.
Was your mother an English teacher?
That's the first time we've had, and I mean,
That's why.
in both our defense, it was like, this is the first time we've ever gone to a business meeting and that, well, except for that, what was it, Hempy? But that one there, we didn't really take any action on.
Just
Okay,
want-
we'll
just
make the
Want
changes.
the record to be correct.
No, thank you. We'll make the corrections
So is there a motion to approve the minutes with those?
with
I'll
the
make the
corrections.
motion to approve the minutes with those
Okay.
revisions.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion has been made second to approve the minutes with the corrections listed by Dave. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Unfinished business, none. New business, action on public application. What's the committee's feeling about the application? Or,
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
okay, would you like to read the conditions, or excuse me, the possible approval reasons?
I'll give it a try.
Okay,
The requested application, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code and will not be contrary to the public interest because, one, after reviewing the application and considering all the related testimony, the application, if approved with conditions, will not harm the public or neighboring land uses. The testimony in opposition has been considered, but with reasonable conditions, the legitimate issues and concerns can be addressed and impacts on the neighboring properties minimalized. Visibility is good at the driveway location. Traffic is generally light here. There are no public safety issues. The proposal matches the lot and available areas.
and would someone like to read the approval conditions?
I'll leave that.
I'll give it a shot. Therefore, the requested application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All other required setbacks and all other codes must be complied with. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, and sanitary if needed. Adequate parking must be provided. The driveway shall provide good visibility and a turnaround area to prevent backing onto the road. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. If the building has any floor drains, the applicant is responsible for checking with the DNR to determine how the wastes are to be collected and disposed of. The applicant shall contact the county building inspector within 6 months of the conditional use approval and comply with their recommendations and the adopted building code, including adequate sanitary facilities. As it has been determined that commercial building codes apply, all commercial plans, building, HVAC, etc., shall be submitted and approved within 1 year of the date of notice of decision. An occupancy permit shall not be issued until such time that all commercial plans and inspections have been approved. Failure to comply with these requirements will result in a recommendation to rescind the conditional use approval. The applicant is responsible for complying with any other applicable regulations. No more than 4 employees outside of the immediate family are permitted. All advertising signs must be in accordance with all county and state requirements. All hazardous and toxic materials, including oils, varnishes, etc., shall be stored and handled in accordance with state and federal requirements. Any exterior storage shall be stored behind a solid fence so that such storage is not visible from public roads or neighboring properties.
Okay, you hope, the committee has heard, and there's been the reasons and the conditions. And so we asked for as motion and second, so now we ask for a vote. So David,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Bart,
I approve.
and I say yes also. So the conditional use is approved. Okay, number B or letter B, review and possible action on requests for extensions of land use permits.
We have none.
Review and possible action on requests for minor changes to previously approved public hearing applications.
We have none as well on that.
Review of next month's public hearing applications for time and route planning purposes.
So at the present time, we have one possible pending, might have two. One being a used home and a second, I believe, in that we could have a conditional use for filling and grading greater than 10,000 square foot. Kyle and I reached out to a gentleman that just built a new home and kind of violated all of our codes, so we're going after that. But so it's going to be an after the fact. And then obviously Wednesday, I'll be bringing kind of a status report on Paul Olson's place for the business meeting.
Zoning administrator and financial report.
And I really have no other updates.
Okay, all right. Adjournment is on order. Someone like to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Second? Or adjourned?
John, did I get your voucher or did you give it to Becky?
I'm just about to turn it in right
Okay.
this moment.
Thank you, sir. We're good.
You're good.
Yep, you
Yeah.
can. Yep. You bet. Yeah, just go down.